There's a prison no one talks about. No walls, no bars, no visible chains. And yet, you feel it in your chest, in your silence, in the way you smile while hiding a scream. This prison has a name, silent shame. It doesn't shout, it whispers. Don't show that, don't say this. They'll leave you, and you obey, not because it makes sense, but because it sounds like your own voice. But what if it's not? What if the thoughts that rule you were never yours to begin with? What if your mind built a prison out of Ika's voices from childhood, comparisons, disapproving looks that you mistake for truth? Think about it. How many times have you swallowed your words, smiled when you wanted to cry, stayed silent when your soul was begging to speak? That silence becomes the cage. That performance becomes the mask. And soon, you forget where the mask ends and you begin. Men, especially, know this prison too well. From the outside, you're strong, composed, in control. But inside, the weight of invisible chains, the fear of being seen as weak. And so you hide, you grind, you adapt. But the more you adapt, the less you exist. Silent shame doesn't just kill joy. It rewrites identity. It teaches you that love must be earned, that acceptance is conditional, that to be safe, you must betray yourself. But here's the truth, your mind doesn't want you to hear. Shame is not your nature. It's a program, a distortion, a virus written into your subconscious by moments you never chose. And every day, that program runs silently, at work, in relationships, in the mirror, until one day, you look at your reflection and wonder, do I even know who I am anymore? But there's something deeper, because inside that prison, there is still a voice. Not the whisper of shame, but the echo of who you were before the mask. That child who laughed without fear. That version of you who didn't edit every word. That soul that never asked for permission to exist. And that voice is still here, waiting for you to listen, waiting for you to remember. You are not your shame. You are the one who noticed it. Today, we're going to expose the architecture of silent shame, not to drown in it, but to see how it traps you, how it loops, how it shapes your identity without permission, and most of all, how you can break it. This is not just a video, this is a mirror. A reminder that the prison was never locked. The key has always been inside you. So stay with me, because once you see the trap, you can never unsee it. And that is the beginning of freedom. Before we go deeper, I want you to pause, not to think, but to feel. Right now, answer this inside your own mind. Have you ever hidden a part of yourself just to be accepted? Have you ever smiled while your soul was bleeding? Have you ever swallowed words because the fear of rejection felt heavier than the truth? If you felt something stir inside you, then this video is speaking directly to you. And I don't want you to just sit back and watch. I want you to engage. Comment below, even a single word. Where does your shame hide? Behind a mask at work, in the silence of your relationships, in the mirror you avoid. You don't need to write an essay. Sometimes a single word can break a chain. Your story might be the mirror someone else needs to finally face their own. And if you're not ready to share yet, that's okay. Just know this, you are not watching this video by accident. The fact that you are here means something inside you is ready to wake up. So here's my invitation. Hit subscribe, not for numbers, not for algorithms, but to join a space where silence is broken, masks are dropped, and the shadow finally gets light. Because here, in this community, we don't run from the darkness, we face it. Together, the mind will try to keep you silent. It will whisper, don't comment, don't connect, stay invisible. But that's the trap. And the first step out is a choice to be seen, a choice to speak, a choice to Remember that shame dies when it is shared. So let's start breaking silence together. Comment your truth, subscribe for more, and stay with me until the end, because what comes next may shift the way you see yourself forever. Shame doesn't begin with logic. It doesn't arrive with a clear reason. It begins in moments so small, you almost forget them. A look, a laugh, a careless comment. Imagine this: you're a child. You speak with joy, and someone mocks you. You draw with pride, and they say, "It's wrong." You cry, and they say you're too sensitive. No one sits you down and teaches you shame. You absorb it, like smoke in the air, like poison in the bloodstream. And here's the cruel part. You don't think they misunderstood me. You think there's something wrong with me. That thought becomes a seed, silent, invisible, but alive. And once planted, it grows roots deep inside your subconscious. Roots that twist into your identity. Roots that whisper, "Be good, stay quiet, don't be too much." You split. One part of you remains alive, expressive, real, but hidden. The other part learns the performance, the mask, and so you grow up. But shame doesn't leave, it evolves. Now it dresses well, goes to work, shakes hands, smiles at parties, while screaming on the inside. It speaks in adult language that wasn't professional. You should know better. No one else struggles like this, and you believe it, because the voice sounds like yours, but it isn't. Here's the truth: shame is not your conscience. It's not your inner wisdom. It's not your soul trying to guide you. Shame is a sculptor. It doesn't create the real you. It edits you. It trims your laughter. It corrects your posture. It rewrites your opinions. Until one day, you no longer remember who you were before the edits began. But there are cracks. Tiny, fleeting cracks. A child laughing without fear makes you ache. A person speaking raw truth makes you jealous of their courage. A dream shows you unfiltered, and you wake up mourning. That ache is not weakness, it's memory. Your soul remembers who you were before the mask, and the world keeps sending you signals. A compliment you can't accept, a photo you hate, a mirror you avoid. These are not random, they are messages, reminders that something inside is still hidden, still hurting, still asking to be seen. So let me ask you, what part of yourself have you silenced just to be loved? What truth have you buried in exchange for safety? Because the seed of shame didn't start with you, but healing must. And in the next part, we'll step into the subconscious mirror, the place where shame doesn't whisper, but distorts. The subconscious is not empty. It's not a void, it's a mirror, but not a clean one. When shame lives in your mind, that mirror fogs. It distorts. It twists your reflection into something unrecognizable. You wake up and feel wrong. You look at your face and recoil. You hear your voice and it sounds like an imposter, but it's not. Your face, not your voice. It's the filter, the distortion of shame. And when the mirror is fogged, you stop trusting what you see. You accept the distortion as truth. I'm not lovable. I'm not enough. I don't belong. Those aren't truths. They're echoes, background noise you forgot was playing. But the noise leaks into everything. In relationships, it whispers, "Don't get too close. They'll see the real you. You have to earn your worth. You're lucky anyone even wants you." So you shrink, you hide, you overgive until you're empty. At work, it whispers, "Stay small, don't be seen. They'll find out you're a fraud." So you silence your ideas. Say yes when you mean no. Avoid the spotlight, then resent being invisible. Even in joy, shame interferes. It says you don't deserve it, that it won't last, that others have it worse. So you should be grateful and quiet, and so joy becomes suspicious. Peace feels foreign. Love feels dangerous. But here's the truth you've forgotten. Shame is not insight. It is not your inner wisdom. It is not your moral compass. Shame is distortion, a cracked mirror in the house of your mind. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the part of ourselves we exile, repress, and fear. But the shadow is not your enemy. It is not the darkness that wants to destroy you. It is the part of you that holds what you had to hide to survive. And here is the paradox. The very things you were most ashamed of may hold the fragments of your deepest power. Because what you repress does not disappear. It waits. It hides in dreams. It shows up in symbols. It knocks at the edges of your awareness. And when you finally face it, you realize those fragments were never flaws. They were stolen truths, pieces of your soul waiting to return. So look again into that mirror, not with guilt, not with fear, but with the courage to see beyond distortion. Because when you do, you begin to separate the echo from the voice, the mask from the self, the shame from the soul. And in that moment, the fog clears. The mirror shows something raw, something unedited, something real. Not who the world demanded, not who shame sculpted, but who you were before. And once you glimpse that reflection, you can never unsee it. Shame doesn't need proof. It doesn't need evidence. It only needs repetition. That is the trap. That is the loop. It begins with a whisper. You're not enough. The whisper triggers a feeling, fear. Fear shapes behavior. You stay quiet. You withdraw. You pretend. And the behavior reinforces the belief. See, I knew I wasn't enough. This is the shame loop. It feeds itself, round and round, until the whisper becomes your identity. You stop noticing it. It feels natural. It feels like you. But it isn't. It's a program, written long ago, installed by wounds you never healed. And the cruelest part, shame wraps itself around your story. It doesn't just haunt your past. It writes your present. It shapes your future. It attaches to your name, to your body, to your relationships. So when you try to grow, to change, to rise, it feels like betrayal. Taking off the mask feels like losing your face. Breaking the loop feels like breaking yourself. But that's the lie. You are not the mask. You are the one who sees it. And if you can see it, you can separate from it. The first step is recognition. You hear the old voice. You're not worthy. And instead of obeying, you pause. You ask, whose voice is this? Where did it come from? Is it even true? That pause is power. Because shame cannot survive in awareness. It thrives in darkness, but dies in light. The second step is compassion, not pity, not denial. Compassion, the sacred act of seeing your wound and not flinching, of saying, yes, I've hidden, yes, I've made mistakes, but I am still worthy of being whole. This is not weakness, this is strength, because compassion rewrites the loop. It creates a new pattern, trust, truth, presence. But don't be fooled. The old whisper will return. It will test you. It will knock again at midnight. Your task is not to fight it with violence, but to greet it with clarity. To say, I see you, I hear you, but you are not me. And each time you do, the loop weakens, the mask loosens, the chain cracks. This is the slow undoing of the prison, not by force, but by awareness, by compassion, by presence. And the deeper you go, the more you realize, shame was never proof of who you are. It was only a script written without your permission. And scripts can be rewritten. If you've come this far, you already know, shame was never yours. It was planted in silence, in fear, in moments too small for anyone else to notice, but heavy enough to bend your soul. And now you see it. the mask, the loop, the distortion. But here's the paradox. You don't heal by erasing your shadow. You heal by integrating it. Because the shadow is not the enemy. It holds the parts of you that were exiled. The laughter you hid, the tears you swallowed, the rage you buried, the softness you were told was weakness. All of it is still inside you, locked away, waiting. And when you finally look at it, not with judgment, but with courage, you discover something shocking. What you feared most is what makes you whole. The shame you carried is proof you survived. The mask you wore is proof you adapted. But survival is not living. Now, it's time to transform. Integration doesn't mean loving every scar. It means refusing to abandon yourself again. It means looking into the mirror and saying, yes, I hid. Yes, I pretended. But I am still here. That is strength. That is power. And as you integrate, life changes. In relationships, you stop shrinking. You set boundaries. You allow love without begging for it. At work, you stop pretending. You speak your ideas. You stop fearing exposure because you know your worth was never up for debate. In joy, you finally exhale. You allow yourself to laugh without suspicion, to feel peace without guilt, to rest without apology. This is the freedom shame never wanted you to find. And it doesn't come all at once. It comes in moments. The first time you speak a truth without flinching. The first time you say no without guilt. The first time you look in the mirror and don't hate what you see. These moments build. They weave a new story. One where the mask is no longer needed. One where the loop no longer rules. One where the shadow is no longer feared. Because here's the final secret. The shadow is not darkness. It is unlit potential. It is the raw material of your strength. And once you integrate it, the prison falls. Not because someone set you free, but because you remembered. The door was never locked. Your mind built the cage. Your awareness holds the key. And now, it's time to step through. If you've stayed with me until now, you already know, shame was never yours. It was a mask placed on you, a loop installed in silence, a prison that looked real only because you believed it. But belief can change, and the moment you see the trap, the chains begin to loosen. So I want to leave you with this question. What part of yourself are you still hiding? What truth have you been too afraid to say out loud? Comment it below. Whisper it into the light. Because your words might be the mirror someone else needs to see their own freedom. And if you're not ready to share yet, that's okay. Just know this, you are not alone. Every view, every comment, every voice here is proof that silence is breaking. So if you felt something awaken inside you, don't leave it here. Subscribe, because this isn't just a channel, it's a movement. A place where the mind is no longer a cage, but a key. And if you're ready to go deeper, beyond these videos, check the link in the description. There you'll find tools, guides, and practices to help you break the loops for good. Because awareness is the first step, but transformation begins with action. This is Psychological Shadow, where we walk into the dark to remember the light was always within.